Hey, welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura and I'm going to do a general message for you all. I wanted to pull from my mini deck, and I did, and the question out is going to be, what shared karma or past life is affecting this relationship or connection? So, for those of you that are new to the channel, I do soul reading. So I talk about the shadow parts of ourselves. And I do so because a lot of times in life, we try to create the life and the life experiences that we want to have, and then we don't manifest them. We get in our own way. So you can really shape shift a reality. Hey, Susan. You can really shape shift your reality and create the life that you want to experience depending on what you do. That's that is what makes my channel a little bit different from other people's channels. This is going to drive me crazy. I have like OCD, so I'm like going to move my screen because I would stare at that the whole time. You know, it's like OCD. It's like crazy. So how you doing, Suzanne? I hope you're having a good day. Well, if you're new to this channel and you wind up on this video and you resonate with it, just give me a like, comment the word. And I always pull a card to get a word of the day. So like, subscribe, and write the word in your comment bar. And the word's going to be maliciousness. Well, I hope that's not, that's mean energy. And when we're dealing with soul wounds, it's not uncommon to deal with this type of energy. That's our actual fear a lot of times. And this happens, I'm feeling like if you grow up in an environment with parents that are angry, or a caregiver that's angry, or you could have had a teacher at a young age that was angry, trauma. You could have dated someone that was angry, that was mean, right? So soul wounds are created from experiences that we live, and it changes our perception about ourselves. And it's not so much that the perception's as bad, but it's the emotions that come with those perceptions, that when we don't learn how to integrate the spiritual lesson, we become a magnet for more of the same experiences. So soul healing is all about seeing what your shadows are. Sometimes they come from, when you were a child. Other times they happen later on in life. Soul programs can happen at any time in life. But understand, soul programs happen because you go through experiences, and then we form behaviorisms and habits that are in alignment with those perceptions. And usually those habits and behaviorisms are what sabotages us in the long run, makes us perceive that there's something wrong. So it's all about awareness to see, yes, what's going to happen in your life, but what type of person are you be dealing with? What is your karma? You're a magnet of whom what comes into your life. So this is why. So I like to look at the archetypes first. And the archetypes will tell us again about a person's character, because really, what is your energy made up of? It's your thoughts and your emotions, and they're channeled out within our character. That's how we tell people who we are unconsciously. So we're supposed to be evolving into higher states of consciousness. And higher states of consciousness, the highest state of consciousness is unconditional love. The shadow parts of ourselves are parts that we've detached from, disassociated from. So what better way can we tell what parts than our, relationships, right? Things that trigger us. So we're definitely going to look at some triggers. We're definitely going to look at some wounds, some samskaras. It's all about knowing what the samskaras are. Samskaras are, again, the soul wounds. It's what your energy vibration winds up becoming. Okay. Archetypes for you. And again, the person that, whoever's on your mind while you're here. And And know too that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as best resonates for you. Okay, athlete. So athlete is usually someone that can play games. It's someone that really can transcend their mind to figure out what it is that they want, and then is very strategic to get what they want. And fool. So, but fool came out in the reverse. So, and when we're talking about fool, we're talking about using humor and like to kind of like mask one's feelings, right? And denial of emotional truth. So this could be an athlete, so someone that's coming very much from their left brain, their logical, analytical mind. And so when we're talking about trying to navigate relationships through this left brain logical mind, it's bad because we're coming more from a survival perspective, because it's our experiences from the past that create our perceptions. So again, if we're coming from our mind and not our spirit, not our soul, then we're coming from our past experiences. So this could be you. This could also be a person, again, that is in your life, because again, we're usually a magnet from what comes into our life. But I said, like, again, I could see that maybe again it's you, because again, after a certain amount of time when we date, this is what happens. We can become jaded, even if we don't mean to, because again, we don't see any other reality. So it's a way that we unconsciously try to keep ourselves safe. So it's not so much bad, but it's bad because you're not going to get the experience that you want, especially if you're coming from a place of fear. So we want to know unconsciously what's happening here. And so it's, again, I feel like I have to be strategic. Feel like I have to come from this level of consciousness. And though it could be, also a positive card, such as dedication, being consistent, being transcending the physical limits that you have. Again, it's an athlete. The problem is, like I said, we don't want to really be dedicated to someone that and then be fearful, because it forms a codependency. Because we're not doing it because we really feel safe. We're doing it because we kind of feel like we don't really trust the person. And it could be the person isn't even showing us anything. Now we just have that wound. Let's look if you're here for someone. Again, we want to see what the shared karma is. And we want to know why it is. Because we want to know how to integrate it. We want to know how to break the karmic cycle. So you can attract something different into your life, so that you can get or shape shift the situation. Because if it's karmic, there's many different realities that play out at one time, and depending on what you do, your level of consciousness is going to be how you deal with the person, so you'll get a different outcome. And this is why they say, oh, you're not supposed to get readings, because again, the psychic might tell you their level of consciousness, which may not be in alignment with what's best for you. This is kind of puts the power back in your hands, because like I said, there's many different realities that play out at one time, depending on your level of consciousness. See, that we tend to say the past, the future, there's only in the now, only in the moment. This person right here, though, is coming from the past, because again, the fear. So we're going to pull two more. And just for story purposes, we're going to say that this is you. May not be you. These two cards may be you. Again, you're going to interpret it. Lover. Again, great passion and devotion. Unbridled appreciation of someone or something. So again, love. I'm feeling like someone's like an empath, a highly sensitive person, someone that just automatically gives love. Not saying that you're not attached to someone that you feel like you're in love with, but again, this is a lot of times it's your archetype. It's about you. So it's talking about your character. So it doesn't mean that you can't have someone, but this is again, so a highly sensitive person that's with someone that's athletic, has to be careful. And it's because again, that person that's athletic is strategic. They're going to use their body. They're going to use again to get what they want. A lover is just tends to come from a place of unconditional love. There's no unconditional love. There is no expectations or ownership. It's just so it could be like almost like naive too. Okay, and what did I say? Child nature. Child nature. Right? So it's again like I'm with this person that's strategic and I'm like just a lover and I tend to give. And it's like, but the problem is child nature that was wounded tends to like be again overgive. As a child self, there's a sense of maybe not getting enough. Right. See, you're the lover archetype. Hey, Lynn. And that's exactly what it is. It's like, so understand it's not that you're deserving of that. We're a mirror of who and what comes into our life. So you may say, well, this person's strategic, this person's gonna get over. It's not so much that, it's that we get what we need. And a person that does care, that they could care, but they're wounded. A person that's wounded that cares is not going to come from a place of I'm going to come with my, my walls down. I'm going to come from a place of, being vulnerable. If anything, they're going to have walls up. And the thing is, if you have a connection with someone, you're not going to, and you're a lover, you're not going to like think to be on your guard because you're going to like go from a place of feeling because again, the child nature tends to be more intuitive, more playful, more childlike. So we can see that already there could be an imbalance there. Archetypes are just again about our character and what we need to be looking at in this particular story. So like I said, it's not so much it's a bad thing to be like have child nature. Child nature is beautiful because again, children they're accepting of everything pretty much. I mean, unless they're being abused. They don't say, oh, it should look like this. It should have they don't have expectations. They make whatever it is, they can see the beauty in everything. They again are honest and pure and light. So it's more talking about the nature. Okay, so I want to look at like if you are connected to someone, I want to see. Oh, good, Lynn. I'm glad. So I want to see what wounds are because that'll help us too. And the samskaras, obviously, because it'll help us understand who we're dealing with. Really, that's what it is. So self-righteous. So again, obviously, an athlete like that type of behavior of strategic is, and anytime you're going to try and talk to them, they're not really going to be emotional, like I said, because they're coming from that logical left brain mind. So if you confront them, they're going to come back at you as like self-righteous, and self-righteous is you don't need to ask me anything. I know exactly what I'm doing. That's your insecurity. That's your like it's again almost like but that's how you know a person's wounded when they are when they're defensive right away, and they're defensive with a sense of self-righteousness like I'm it's okay that I'm this way. So we could see that would be really kind of annoying. It would be very triggering. And then troublemaker, destruction in your wake, tend to your own business, cause no harm. So it's again, I would say troublemaker would just be like, I know that this emotionally bothers you, but because I'm not that emotionally intelligent, I don't feel comfortable being vulnerable with you. I like create issues to try and get an arouse out of you. I don't feel as if I can do that. That's your husband that I'm separate, athletic, well, self, right. So, and then also creates trouble because I may still have feelings, right? So sometimes if you have still have feelings, and let's just look at the samskara, right? Because the samskaras will also tell us what the wounds are. Neglect, like you felt like you were neglected from this person, which obviously, if a person emotionally can't give to you, you would feel neglected. So we're just looking at the spiritual energy first, because that will make us feel right. Trouble, right, right, because the person's so caught up in their own trauma. That's why that is, you know. And so to really to create fear. So we say again, why did this person come into my life? Is again, if I'm the person that's so loving and I give, and why did I have to live that? So understand, before you got together in this relationship, this was the sense of fear, right? Fear could become from self-neglect, right? So where I didn't get the love, then I feel neglected. Then what happens is I wind up with someone that doesn't give me and I give, because I'm all about love. And this person is always trying to take energy from me. So it's all about them. And really, if I don't do it and I have something to say, they shut me down because they're self-righteous. And again, they deliberately cause issues because I want to really get along, because children usually have a good nature. They usually want to get along. They usually like try and find the balance. So this person had you running around in circles, keeping you locked into a place of fear. That's really what that is. And then you may say, okay, well, what are the triggers? Because the triggers then will allow us to know, like, what are our wounds? Like, why did that happen to us? Because your behaviorisms will tell us like how you deal with this person. And then we can understand what this person is going to do later on, right? Because especially if you're dealing with someone that's very wounded, they're going to be coming from their emotional point. Even though they think that they're coming from a very logical way, they're not. They're coming from a very jaded perception, and it's from an emotional standpoint, from where they perceive that they were hurt. Very quiet man. Well, I think it's again that could be like a little bit of, I'm not comfortable with my feelings and emotions, so I'm not really going to say much to you. And so you're going to wind up like, if you're going to connect with a person like that, you're going to connect with them more on a psychic level, on an emotional level. And so you wouldn't even realize, and that could also be like this childlike nature, because children really do attack more from their sensitivity way. So and that made this person feel very accepted, but understand that would have to make you become very codependent on making sure that this person's needs were okay, because they're not articulating it to you. You're intuit feeling it. And so and that's again, the love language is that, like, I feel that. So this person might have been very good in business, very good again when it came to left-brained things, like, but they don't feel good about who they are. So, and again, they've gone through experiences where they were very vulnerable, like where they weren't allowed to express themselves. I feel like just at a young age, and they never really had to. So they stake out that. So that's what is bad. But in a way, like, you then take on seeing whether or not, you know, you take on their feelings as if they're your own. And really, this is how you would wind up self neglecting yourself. You wouldn't be there for yourself because you're too busy worrying about them and they're not worrying about you because they're too busy making sure that you're taking care of them. So it kind of, that's what I'm saying. Like, again, that left brain logical, like, I get really good um, results in business, but with a relationship, you're not going to get good results. And it's because you have to communicate. You have to be vulnerable. You don't handle things from an athletic, like a strategic business mind. It's cold. Yeah, well, that's what it feels like, right? The person always shows up that needs to get the reading. So, I feel like, do you have children with your spouse? Because I feel like if there was other people or anything like that could again do, like, so again, the way that you raise your child, does he have a problem with, like, because there's like, I was triggered by how the kids behave and blame. Well, okay, so when she was younger, like, was it like I said, where you felt as if, like, if you were doing certain way, like he had an opinion about it, like it, they were just telltale signs because it's like it could be irrelevant to you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's a sign again, like what Kim comes out where I feel like you never realized how he was until until you raised your daughter, Monday morning quarterback, after she was grown. Yeah, like I feel like that's like like when you were dating, this person was probably had all the elements that you perceived would be obviously a good, from a left brain perception, right? Which was a good provider, you had a spiritual connection, everything, like, and you guys seem to balance each other out. So it's almost like we have a soulmate, but it's like a past life mate and one from a past life because there was a soul recognition. And that's because you were able to communicate through that. Yeah, well, then that's what I'm saying. So that, and he thought that you were too. This is what is past life soulmate. Again, there's soul recognition, but there's almost a sense of, I feel like you're my other half. And it's because everywhere where he had gifts, everywhere where he has gifts, you have wounds. And where he has wounds, vice versa. So it's not like this is your other half, but when you were young, it was like this was your other half, is what I'm feeling. And then what happened is after you had children, that's what the first sign of it, like you're not raising like our child right. Like again, like you're not doing things the way that I need you to do them. Like you started to see like like things, and that's because when you actually have a child, you actually like take love off, not love off this person, but you wind up loving yourself more. Yes, I always say he was my grounding, and that's what I'm telling you, that and you were. So, but understand, spirit brought this person into your life to create balance in your life, to teach you to think differently, to teach this person to think differently. Unconditional love makes us do that. It's like I don't, you trigger me, you're difficult. It's not an easy relationship. It's like because it's again this person's so different, and that's really what I'm feeling. Like it was just so different and bluff. Like, and I feel like were you the one that left and ended it? Because I feel like calling your bluff was the most satisfying thing I have ever done. So there was a sense of like almost like sticking up for yourself. A lot of times when after being in this type of relationship where you're giving so much of yourself and this is your perfect someone, and then as the relationship changes, so then what I want to know is, well, where are you now? Because it's like, all right, so we know like what the wound was. We know what, I would say, what would be the healing. Yeah, it shows that he never communicated, but I feel like I think that he didn't think that there was something with you, like whether you got stronger. Maybe again, he thought that again, like he would threaten you, that he was going to leave, someone was going to threaten somebody, but it's again where they called your bluff. Like that's what I feel like. There was a sense of and that's because after a while, when we don't communicate, because we again are not, you started an affair, right, 2 years before you asked him to leave. And that's what I felt. I felt like that you had been the one to initiate the fact for him to leave. And he is spiteful. So again, coming more from this left brain perspective of, again, like, how dare you should have dealt with what I give, you're not happy, but this person emotionally doesn't know how to give you. But again, you felt that he wasn't connected, like, like, not that you was, when you have an ESP connection with someone, you can feel their energy. Soulmate have that. You can tell when a person's there, and you can feel when they're not, even if they're in the room, but they're like checked out. So and that's because, like you said, it became too hard because you weren't getting what you needed on an emotional level, because really that's your wound. On an emotional level, you did not get what you needed, and this person came into your life and kind of brought that out. Like, it didn't mean that there wasn't passion at one time. It didn't mean that it wasn't good at one time. However, we look at like the energies of that, of we look at the energy of why did that situation unfold within your life, because we could easily get blocked and say that happened because of me, or that happened because it was just I don't have luck, or that happened, like, I feel like, what could it have happened? I mean, situations are all karmic, which means learn. So still comes here once a week to, well, because like there's still a spiritual, very strong spiritual connection. And I don't really feel like he will ever make anyone feel that close. I mean, there's nostalgia here, where again, like, you have a child with this person. They don't normally, they would have never given that, they would have never opened up that much. It's again, they stayed around because of the connection that you had, because of who you are. It's again, and those younger years really of being so innocent, pure, like everything that he wasn't. And so, and also being the person of reason, he knows that he could be like that. He knows that about himself. It makes him a good business person, but love is unconditional. And I just think, again, the passion was out of your life. And I really want to look at that, because it's not even so much about him, it's about life now. It's like, and if you wanted this person to even come back into your life, or you want to still connect to someone, the wound is still there. So that's really what it is. It's like, okay, because this is imprinted again. And when we go through an experience of betrayal, obviously it creates a trauma. And that trauma makes us not really trust ourselves. And it takes the vitality really out of us. It takes the energy. We can actually feel tired. Like, oh God, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know whether I can find out. Or maybe this person will come back. But if they come back, would they be the same exact person? Would they do this? Would they do that? Can it be? Well, Spirit says anything's possible. Especially if it's karmic and there's unconditional love, you know. But that's why I'm saying, still seeing that woman, but doesn't move to divorce me. No, he doesn't want to divorce you. It's almost like this man. There's a sense, unfortunately, I don't want to say this where you're going to get upset, but there's a sense like you're not going anywhere. Like you don't have. Well, of course he does, because it's like there's a sense like with him, it's like he doesn't like for someone to do what he did. He doesn't really like himself. There isn't much, again, a person that just goes to work and comes home, works and comes home, work and comes home. What do you think they're going to have passion? Passion for life is something that we all need. Okay. And because again, the passion for life is really why Christ died for you. Christ died for your passion for life. So what does that mean? Well, God says me first, and that's through you first. That's through your passions. Where are they? How do you create balance in your life? How could you possibly meet anyone? How can you open up your third eye? Where are the opportunities? How could you? That's what I am. I'm saying that though. He's not going to apologize the way that you expect him to apologize. He was raised by a man that didn't really allow him to like show feelings. It was the time, it was the year, it was again nothing that has to do with you. You take it as it's you. No, this person, this is the way that they can love to the maximum that they can. He shows he is sorry because of coming to the house and still being there and still connected to you. Again, that's why he does what he does. This is he's never going to express. He never did when he was married, and he never will. Maybe one day later on down the line, maybe on his deathbed, like, but it's a survival thing. I'm not allowed to express. I wasn't allowed to express. I lived in an environment that didn't allow me to be sensitive, but I am sensitive. I just use my sensitivity to strategize and to be into it like a detective, to be like, again, to know what I need to navigate what I want, to strategize, where you're like, well, I don't use my intuition that way. I use my intuition and my sensitivity for good. Like, again, for that. Yeah. And that's why this person, you showed them a different perception and you created a life with them, and they still have feelings, but there's also a sense of you that wouldn't take me back now that I did all that. You would never forgive me because I ruined it. And so it's like, I'm going to be self-righteous because I'm going to blame it on you. I'm going to blame it all on you because it creates too much pain. So I'm going to blame it all on you, and then I'm going to be interactive in my life, but I'm still going to be around, and you'll know that I still care. And this is an intimacy issue. And intimacy is based on trust. But the first sign over time is the lack of intimacy, literally. And that comes from trust that happened way before this person met you, which is, again, I can't fully open up. And that's really what brings us back to, like, again, why this person strategized. Again, passion. This is what I felt. I didn't even this is literally the card that I pulled. Passion. Didn't I just say this? It was like, because really if you want this person to change, you have to change. If you want to meet someone in your life, you have to change. If you want to be happy and healthy and live the rest of your life, you have to change. And this is the element. And it doesn't come from going out and meeting someone. It's through finding your passion, getting your ground through your passion. He is grounded. He was your opposite. Again, he brought the elements that you need into your life. And Spirit saying you're not doing that. So it comes through passion. If you There's always going to be a little bit of sadness there if you're going to sit there and be like, well, you fucked up my life. Like, it's like we were supposed to be together and then you just pick up and left. I'm going to be resentful. And that person is like, I can never fix it, but it's like, I'm going to continue to be in and out of your life. And it's going to be like, no, Lynn, you have to be like, my life, I have a great life. I have a great life, and actually, I'm glad that you did what you did because I have such a good life. It's like you're going to see me. You're going to see me now, get a lot of attention from other people because when I'm in the passion for my life, I become a magnet for that because I'm a magnet of who and what come into my life. So I have to raise my vibration. But what was the wound to begin with? The wound was this wasn't here. You made him the passion, which over time, like he's a business person. He's not like person. He's a strategizing person. He likes the competition. When you were younger, you were a hot tomato. Like when you were like, and you had a lot of options and you also like, so there was a sense of like keeping that passion, keeping that whatever, because otherwise you won't be able to really heal that because you'll be like, well, you can go out with someone and then they hurt you and then they don't really even, there's no remorse. No, you have to balance the scales, and you balance the scale through again integrating passion. Absolutely. Where do you lose your time, your energy, your focus, and your money? God says, me first. I'm a jealous God. That's do you first. The kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. Why are we still focused on him? This is why he's sorry, but he's not. And says, of course he's not. It's like, I am sorry, but it's like I'm not allowed to communicate because I conditioned myself not to communicate. So I don't really know how to do that. It's like, but you know that I'm sorry because I'm still here doing stuff around the house and I'm not really being honest with her. I just don't know what's going to happen with you. And so I have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And really what you need to be like, well, you're going to take your foot out of the fucking door and I'm going to go and have a grand old time with myself. And that doesn't mean run around with 1,000 different people. It means find your passion. Right. That's right. Because you're tired. But we don't go out and go to a bar. That's not what we do. We don't go and find a person. That's not what we do. You already were codependent. This is again where the lack of passion, God says it was imbalance to begin with. So, right, you were a hot tomato. That's what I'm saying. You were a hot number because he has a big ego and he wouldn't have been with somebody that didn't have that. So understand like his way it would be to argue have to get into an argument to like create this passion, right? It's like he doesn't feel like confident. But let's look at some hidden truths just to see where so what does he think? I mean, not because that's really important. The ego wants to know that. I want to know that. You want to know that. But God's like, that's really not important what he thinks or what he feels. What's important is what you need to do to heal and what can happen for you, which we'll look at. But we also want to know what he thinks. Like, is he suffering? like because there is a dust part of ourself, which is that part of self, which is our ego, which is just made me go through this situation. Okay, so let's see. I was just asked my guides for more connection to others. Right. Well, I think that this is where that spirit is saying the connection. Don't ask for people. Spirit says, no, no, no. Find yourself first. And I'm going to explain to you why in a second after I tell you. I bury myself in work to forget you. So I think he works a lot to not think about everything because he doesn't want to think about everything. He avoids it. But if we can tell it bothers him, so that's number one. I want you. I think that there's like your relationship gets hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. So there still is passion there, but it's again at this point is a little bit more angry, like hot tomato, exactly. And again, you came closer than anyone. So again, I think to really opening up, like that this person really feels like you came closer than anyone to like changing me. And I think that this person again was always kind of had that addictive personality because again, coming so much from a left brain perspective, we can't be on drive, work, 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 work all the time without having some sort of balance. And that balance would be again people, but then if you get too close to people they will hurt you. You need to make this person suffer, and I'm telling you, because it's like you'll never feel like you need to balance the karma. It's not so much I need to make you suffer, but it's like in the fact that I move on and I see that you are affected by it. That is how I would balance the scales because you would never expect me to do it. You don't expect me to move on because I'm not someone that runs around with 1,000 different people. It's not like we even want to do that. I don't even know how you did what you did because, again, it's just about that, the passion. But the devil is also just that passion alone, right? Passion without emotion. And believe me, this person is not taking this other person into consideration if they're still hanging out with you, hanging around doing stuff for you, and hasn't closed the door fully on you. This person's not 100% there for them. They are departmentalizing, and they're departmentalizing because they're giving that person the sex and they're not sleeping with them, but they still are emotionally connected to you regardless. So, again, they want to stay in this limbo funk. You don't want to stay in this limbo funk. And so, but you would feel like, well, what can I do? I can't tell this person. And I really don't want, it's not an all or nothing. This is all about being like, if this person was to come back, they'd have to come back different. And that would be because now you're different. And part of being different would be, again, where's your passion for life? It's again, what are you interested in? And so, like, what things should you look into to see if you for again ideas for you? Let's see, because it's not so much a job. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying passion for life. I'm saying that because it's like, how can you train a person? You train a person through how much you give them, how much time, energy, focus, and money you give a person. You give too much. It said it right here. It said it. Child nature, lover, okay? Like, again, winds up self-neglecting themselves to make other people happy. So it's, again, no, it's like you have to have ammunition. Because he didn't listen. He didn't do it. What he did was he was not the passion was lacking in your marriage. And so that person comes in with passion and then everything is amplified because you just can't go to work, home, work, let me do things around the house, it's like there needs to be that. So we need to look in. Right, that's what I'm telling you. So then, Lynn, what do we do? So then what you do is you then take some classes online about your about your hormones. It's again, learn about it. It's like you don't stay broken. It's like because that's going to be an issue later. It's like you want to see yourself as like beautiful. You want to see yourself as sexy. You want to see yourself as that. You don't want to be in this. Otherwise, if you feel that way, this person's going to feel that way. We do something about it. And so you might say, oh, fuck, I got to do something. God says, listen, that can lead you to your passion. You could become a hormone coach and a whole big holistic community problem that I love taking care of. Yeah, they either, right. And that's why I'm saying grief, you have to heal with gratitude. And that comes from, again, like feeding yourself first. So you got to give yourself first because there's a family that you're growing into, and then there's the family that the universe brings you. It's again, and that's through your hobbies and your interests, and with no support. So it's like, where are you going? This is what this man is saying. Right. And I know that that's hard, but understand when people get older and they die, a lot of times the reason why they die is because they didn't go to, they don't know that what's going on in the movies anymore. They don't know like who's around. They don't current events. They don't know. They're no longer, and it's because their entire family died. So, and why do certain people live until they're 100 and live happy? It's because they're interactive in their life. They have passions of their own. Because understand, Lynn, being depressed, which I believe you are, is going to make you tired. It's going to make you feel lethargic. And the last thing that you're going to feel like wanting to do is have anything to do with a libido. So we heal the first chakra, and that's first chakra, which is connection to yourself, and that's connection to the world, and that's through joining things, through being interactive in your life. Be like childlike. Your nature really is like child. You're a fun person. You're a friendly person. So it's to join things, to invest in you, give yourself the love that you desire. Believe me, once you do that, that will alarm your ex, number one, because it's again, I wouldn't expect you to do it. And you're still an attractive woman, so it's not like you won't meet people. And you might be like, I don't really want to meet anyone, but you'll meet friends. That again changes your perception about life. This is a co-creation process. It's like this are well, and that's why I'm saying it's like you need balance. As a highly sensitive person, you need balance. And the only way that's going to happen is through grounding. And the only way that that happens is through a focus, got to be on something that inspires you, that you love, that stirs you up. It's again, then you become a magnet for that unconditional love. And is it easy? No, healing doesn't feel good. Because a lot of times I'm tired, and of course you're tired. Root chakra imbalance is your adrenals are right there. Everywhere where you have a chakra, you have an endocrine gland. The chakras represent psychological and emotional aspects of yourself, which are spiritual elements of you. So when they're out of balance and that first chakra is off because you're like, I don't feel supported. I don't have family. I don't feel like I have anyone. God says, get back in your body. I live inside of you and I work through you and I work through your environment, but it's not going to happen through just sitting in your house and feeling like that. And it's through, again, being interactive in your life that I'll let you meet new people. Well, that's why I'm saying it might not start that way, but part of it is also you're depressed. You're a depressed. So that's why I'm saying, like, you can also, like I said, just go have fun and change, like shift your perception, and that changes your mood. And then once that happens for a few weeks, then listen. Once you might be like, well, I'm not exactly the most sexual person, and then what, you went to like what, knitting, painting with the twist and who comes in Harry, and then you find Harry attractive one particular day. Were you looking for Harry? No. Were you lonely? Yeah, I was still lonely, but it's like I was trying, I was putting my energy out there every day that I could put it out there. And one day you go to painting with the twist, and I'm using that as an example. And this person now is giving you attention, they're giving you and making you feel attractive. Well, then come back to me and tell me what your libido is. Of course, if someone's ignoring you, what's your libido going to be? If you're depressed, what's your libido going to be? Come back to me after you've been interactive in life and other people start to like say, hey, Lynn, well, you're looking good. Hey, you want to come out with us? You want to do something? Like, they're going to. I feel like that's part of it. Like, again, and that's great to be along to a metaphysical, because I think, again, continuously hearing what is capable for you and about how you can transform your life is we need to brainwash ourselves, because we all are born into environments that are imbalanced. We live in a society that's imbalanced. So it's very easy for us. And then we do lose people, and we do have people come into our life that do betray us. And it's very easy to lose your way. And I love the answer for you to belong to that metaphysical group. But then it's, again, I don't give a shit what it is that you're doing. It's like, get involved more. If that's the vehicle that you choose, I don't care. Then it's like, then have a podcast. You want to meet people. It's, again, through what you love, giving and receiving of love. It's like Spirit saying, it's like, then I will make a way where there is no way for you. You're like, again, trying to make a way, and then you're not going to be able to make a way. You're not going to see anything here. This opens when you're in your body and you're directed by your gut, intuition, and you're giving and receiving of love. And then you can see the opportunities. You're not seeing anything. You're only going to see him there. So by you changing, that automatically changes him. It just is the way that it goes. And you don't need to go on meds. You would need to go on meds if, like, you didn't want to do anything to fix yourself. It's like, understand, we all get the story of who we think we are, and then there's a real story of who you truly are. This person could be just one stop along on your destination, and it could be really profound, but maybe they don't even fit to who you are anymore. And that's because you're like, well, I don't even know who I am anymore. And then Spirit says, well, then that's the problem. It's like, again, because if you don't really know, it's about having a love affair with yourself. And then so that you can make those choices and feeding yourself. He's not going to go anywhere. His karma, listen, he'll have plenty of time to either rectify his karma and fix it, because you're not all of a sudden going to meet Harry tomorrow. It's like, but if you're interactive and he happens to come over and sees that you're getting dressed up and that you're doing stuff, like, where are you going? I'm going out. Are you my keeper? Well, it's, again, I'm going out. It's not none of your business what I'm doing. I'll see you later or whatever. It's like, we're not together. Just because you wanted to share what you're doing with that person that came into your life and broke up our family, well, I don't need to let you know anything about what's going on in my life, because you chose for us to live separate. It's like, you show him a different side of you. It's like, meaning, this is not the Lynn that you remember. That person doesn't live here anymore. Yeah, because that's what it is. Because the opportunity, there's so many different opportunities. There's many different realities that play out at one time, depending on what you do. And if you're depressed, and if you're sad, and if you don't feel good about yourself, and you feel abandoned, and you feel, well, quantum jump into the reality that you want and be like, I know I can join things and meet people. I need to, like, again, and it's a process. You're allowing yourself to grieve. That's by being in this place. But it's enough grieving at this point, is what I'm getting at. It's like, enough. It's like now it's time to, like, move forward. And you move forward through, again, getting the passion in life, because that's what spirit says. That's the answer. Otherwise, what? Because you're missing part of your identity, and now it's becoming clear what that part of the identity is. It's passion. But what did Lynn put there? Because if she's in metaphysics, she knows about the law of transmutation. She knows that she can't just say, well, I'm lonely. I'm going to take lonely out of here. It's gone. God says, no, you're an energy being, and we don't just get rid of energy. We can't do that. Alchemy taught you that. So what are you doing with it? And you're like, well, I have to transmute it. And spirit says, yeah, so how are you going to transmute loneliness? It's like, it it's that you have to, again, invest in you, and understand we live our bliss. We don't live from here. Again, as an empath, you know that you live through, again, through your gut and your heart and your intuition and what feels right, and going with the flow of life, and understand your life will move forward and evolve further, where this person will eventually grieve after the fact. And that's when you've moved on. And that's what it is. But that's why it's like he's not going to say anything until you actually are like, I've moved on. I've moved on. I've come to accept that maybe we weren't supposed to stay together forever. And, either way, if you were to work it out with me, you'd have to come back different, because I'm not the same person anymore. And you'd have to get to know me all over again, because whatever it was broken. Now, can a person redeem themselves? Of course that they can. People do it all the time. Right. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like you've gotten enough time to grieve. It's like this place is like, that's not your final destination. You're making it like that. And at this point, it's like, doesn't need to be. There's a lot of different things. You're into metaphysics, join a podcast, be in a podcast, go to a different group. Go to a drum circle. Find out what's going on in your community. They don't have a drum circle. Did you say that, Lynn? Start a drum circle. I don't give a shit. It's like become something. It's like again, become a magnet of who you want to come into your life. Create something. Put your focus there. It's like, oh, I'm going to create a right, transmute it. It's like, and that's through fire, and that's through, again, doing, grounding, male energy. This person has a lot of male energy. It's, again, that's that passion. Well, guess what? When you, again, step into that energy, that's what's going to scare the shit out of this person. And that's when they would say, I'm sorry. Because it's, again, this person's ego is too, I'm not going to say nothing because I don't really got to. Oh, yeah? Okay, well, then don't. But I'm having a great old time over here, and I'm getting a lot of attention too. Because when I'm transmuting it, I am becoming unconditional love. And also, God helps me train the ego. And that's through bringing me people and situations and experiences in front of your face that is going to make you look at yourself a lot differently, and because now you're looking at me a lot differently. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. We can't make a person change, but we can shape shift any experience to make a situation turn out better in our favor. That's why, again, everything's karmic. It means learn. And so, again, you are God in, again, just in physical form, like your spirit is. And so we're down here to learn. We're not separate. Unfortunately, when we live a certain experience, we see this perception of ourselves, and we could continue to see that perception until we transmute it. And transmuting it is just having a new awareness and taking that awareness and applying, like, again, what we need to do. And that is what makes a person change. That's what makes a person humble themselves. Because really, once you're gone and you're having a good time with yourself, the person can come back and say they're sorry. You're going to be like, what are you offering? You coming back? What's here? That's it. That's it. I don't think that that I'm actually having a good old time now. Oh, I'm traveling around the world to Europe with my metaphysical group, and my drum circle got on TV. Did you plan any of this shit? No, it's what God does. He says, I made a way where there was no way, in front of your haters and in front of the people that hurt you. So you can, again, right. So it's so that he could be like, well, like I didn't do things right. She's having a good old time over there without me. And it's like, and then God would say, well, like the train is about to leave. Are you going to fix it? And that's, and so that's when they have to humble. And it's not through you saying anything or doing anything except for, I'm having a great time. And it's the classy way, because the moment that you got to open up your mouth and say something, then all of a sudden you're the neg, you're the problem, you're the this, and you're not. Well, I'm glad because it's true. It's like a lot of times we're in a situation where someone does us wrong and we're like, oh, I really don't have a choice. I really feel like I'm fucked either way, like, because I have feelings for this person, but then they did this. So where's the justice? Where's the karma? And then Spirit says, whoa, 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 whoa. Karma is, again, let's look at what we did to contribute to the situation. And it's like, well, from what I'm looking at, I didn't do shit here. Like this person did it to me. And Spirit says, well, did you break any spiritual laws? The metaphysical law, that it's like, again, love me first, and that's through you first. And it's, again, if you were, what was the issue? I gave too much. I gave too much. I neglected myself. This person never really had to communicate. They never really could communicate. I was that person. And then after a certain amount of time, I became the nag. I became the problem. And though there was love there, it was also a sense of that the passion started to drain from our relationship. And with that, I made this person feel inadequate, because they go to work and they feel like they're a powerful person, so they can't be with someone that is not going to be attracted to them. So again, which made this person open. So they needed to communicate, they needed to talk, you guys needed to talk, but now it's about being like, well, we can't go back in time. Oh, good, I'm glad. You were meant to come on here, that's why. You were meant to hear this message. And that's because you're like, again, I care about this person, but then it's like, there's all this. What's my life? I feel like I'm stuck. And Spirit says, well, you would be stuck if you're looking at things from the same level of consciousness. It's like, which is, well, I'm just going to go back to the life that I had, doing what I had. What else am I supposed to do? And Spirit says, well, there's a lot that you could do. It's, again, you say you go to metaphysical group every 3 days. What are you learning there? Isn't there one topic that maybe you would like to invest more time in? Be like childlike. It's, again, children that don't have any expectation. There isn't anything. They're just investing in their time, having a good time, finding themselves. And in that, you begin to live your bliss. To take the more that you feed it, and it's not how good you are, it's how much love and passion you put into something, because God is love. So it's, again, how much unconditional love, which is inside of you, you're putting towards your passion. You gave too much to that person, not enough to you. That's why the situation happened. So what Spirit is saying is there needs to be more of that. And then understand too, once you're doing that, you're going to meet a person that can communicate. You're going to see red flags with somebody. Again, well, this is another person that I have like a strong connection, but they don't know how to have a conversation. So does that mean you don't need to pick them? No, this time you can pick them, but you'd be like, I don't give a fuck that they want chocolate ice cream. They're going to ask me for the chocolate ice cream. Just because I can intuitively know what they need, I don't care. They're going to ask. They're going to ask, and they're going to say, because they need to do that. It's like not my job, because they won't respect me over time. They'll take me for granted over time. Then that disrupts the passion too. Yeah, realize that this relationship was a little codependent in the beginning. Then it's also what spirit says, and then what else are you going to do? Well, I'm going to invest more in myself so that maybe it'll open up new job opportunities. Maybe I'll become the sorcerer of the fucking town from all the metaphysical classes that I take. I don't care. Like, again, it's a passion for life. And I'm helping people and I'm connecting deeply to people and doing what I love. And that's helping me change. Like, it's right. So then do more of that. Take trance mediumship. It's again, and if you can't take it out, go online and take it on Udemy. They have really cheap classes there. Invest in you. Your mind can't be in two places at one time. It's again, and so if you're in a shit place, you want to put it towards something that's going to lift you up, that's going to make you feel right. And that's why I'm saying, well, I mean, like doing trance healing, you can learn, integrate other things into it. It's about learning, is what I'm saying. It's investing in you. Like, if you can't do anything and leave your house, but like, and you're like, I can't leave my house. I don't want to have the money. I don't know where to join. There is nothing. Then I don't care. Invest in you. And then if you become really good at it, then offer a class. If you like it, then you might meet people that also like it. And that would help you see yourself differently. It would help you again become more on your own path. And then you can look back and say, I remember when I first got together with my husband, I didn't, what was so important to me was having a family and and I got to do that. But then as I got older, I realized that that was important because I wanted to fill that, but there's also other things that were important. Yeah. No chocolate, you get vanilla, right? Okay, so then vanilla, whatever it is. But that leads, and I want to leave it on this note. This is the wisdom. You got to see yourself as that bowl of ice cream, right? It's like when you get together with a person, and like you get together with a person, imagine it's like you look at that person like they your favorite meal, like they're your favorite thing. Now imagine having your favorite meal every single day, all day long. Like that was the only thing you got to eat was like vanilla ice cream. After the third day, you'd be like, I don't really think I like vanilla ice cream that much. And after like 2 weeks of vanilla ice cream, you're like, I don't really like it as much. And then after like 5 months, 6 months of eating vanilla ice cream, you're like, I'm kind of sick of vanilla ice cream. So imagine now living a life that's you're so busy in life and you're eating all these different foods, right? All these different foods, and you get to have one little scoop of vanilla ice cream at the end of the day. You look forward to that vanilla ice cream. You'd be like, oh, at the end of the night, some days you'd want a bigger scoop. Other days you'd be like, I was content with that small scoop. You're the vanilla ice cream. That you're, again, something that is special, something that looks forward. Now, does that mean that the person has a lot of different other flavors of ice cream that they're tasting? The ice cream is their passion. So they should have a lot of other passions in life. So where do you live, Lynn? Because like I said, a lot of times there are, I think that it's again, if you enjoy to do that and there isn't, then it's for you to do it. I have crystal singing bowls at my house. You do, used to do them a lot and will wind up doing them again, but I live here in St. Augustine. But I think you can check out, like on Facebook, check out Facebook groups, check out like your local health food store. And like I said, if it's something that you enjoy, then you can start your own circle. And that's if there isn't one, because like I said, it's about putting your time and your energy towards what you love and more to create yourself so that you can see a different version of yourself. When you see a different version of yourself, you don't let people treat you with disregard. You don't have the time for it. You say, well, either I could be with you, that doesn't really make me feel good, and you take me for granted, and I got to be your fucking parent on top of everything, or I could be it like go to this, singing bowl meditation. And, first of all, Harry's there and he's hot. So, he's there. I get to like stare at him and he's nice to me. He makes me feel good about myself, even though he's married and he might even be gay, but doesn't even care because he's nice to me. So it's like I'm getting something emotional. That's number one. Number two, I enjoy the singing bowls. It helps me relax and meditate, and I learn from there. So it's a win, 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 opposed to, well, it's like it's again, it's a hit or miss, like whether I'm gonna have fun or not. So, like I said, over time, when you choose you're teaching people, even the new people that come into your life. You teach those people how they have to treat you because you're not always available because you're busy. So you can even buy your own singing bowls and offer like a class at your library, your local library. People like that kind of shit. It's like donation based. Everyone knows, oh, you're going to go down to Lynn's singing bowl meditation down at the library. It's like I said. So you're in Jersey. I don't really know where that is, but I feel like I know where New Jersey is, but New Jersey is big. So, like I said, it's like if you are near the city, I know that there's a lot of places, and I know a girlfriend of mine, Pardis Parteau, she's a medium. Also, she offers singing bowl like circles in a lot of different places in Manhattan and Soho. There's Soho House and a few other places. Could also go to Namaste Healing Center, and you could go to Om Shanti. There's a lot of different, like I said, places in the city. But if that's too far, like I said, check out your local health food stores, check out your healing centers, if there are any. And if there aren't, consider doing one. Like I said, it's through what you love that leads to a whole new pathway of life and takes you out of where you are and brings you to where you want to be. But you really got to love yourself. I know, right? I'm going to tell you, you're going to meet Harry and Harry's going to take you away. And then you don't know. It's like, I don't know. I was just doing this singing bowl meditation and Harry came in and here we are. We're in Peru now. Yeah, he decided to like put the bone through his nose. It's just a custom there. It's like, and now we're on TV. Like, it's like doing a healing show. How the hell did you get there, Lynn? I don't know. It's like I didn't move me. I was just doing what I love, and the universe just brought me all these people and these situations and experiences that took me the hell out of here. Well, what happened to your ex-husband? Oh, we're still married, but he's like, I don't know. I don't even know what the hell he's doing. It's just the way that it goes. That's why I'm saying. And you're in a completely different place. And that's what it's all about. So I'm going to leave it there. I thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you found it fun. And you'll have to let me know. Yeah, see, like you're not that far. Go again. You might not want to go into the city all the time, but I'm telling you, you can make it go in once a month. If you see the skyline from your house, then you can like again make a day. And like I said, there are a lot of singing bowl things that go on city. Pardis Palto, you can actually look up her this Paltow, and she does singing bowls in a lot of different places. And there's healing centers in the city. And then through there, you'll get to meet other people that are not from the city, and they might be able to tell you something too. Because remember, when you're interactive, you meet other people that are also, and through that community, you're told, different things, which will spark your interest. And this is why I'm saying that's how you're brought to a completely new life, because you're meeting all these different people and they're telling you about things that you actually want to know, and you resonate because you're there, and you're a vibrational magnet for for them and the situation and the experience that leads to new experiences. That's why we never have to worry. As one door closes, another door opens, as long as we are grounded and, invested enough in our life. It's like, otherwise you'd never be able to get through a death. You'd never be able to get through anything. And really, the symbolization is support. And on some level, you weren't supported as a child. And so that's what that really is. It's like, I wasn't supported, possibly even just emotionally, though I kind of feel like your dad wasn't emotionally there. And so that happens. So what really Spirit's saying is, now it's time that you got to give yourself the support, and that's through your passion. And then you meet everybody else. Life builds on that. Don't judge your process. Don't try to speed up your process. Those are hard things to do, but enjoy your process. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.